In this video, I am going to talk what is the API gateway. Once we understand what is API gateway, then we will implement the Netflix ZUUL through the microservices Spring Boot code for the better understanding. So let us start. Before we start the API gateway, let me explain what is the problem we do have if I don't have the API gateway. So suppose you have one web application and this is the microservice, and you have exposed many REST API, right? And here is the UI or the mobile phone. So if UI want to show some data or they want to do operation, or yes, they will call this API, right? So to calling this microservice, they need the IP address. With the IP address, they need the port, and then they need the this request mapping, right? The backslash home or the catalog or the add item, right? So uh, it's okay if you have this one, it's okay, but little bit problem is there, you don't have the security here, right? Because this is running on your premises and that UI is running on the other premises, and you have opened your port for the for calling from the UI or the mobile phone. Security is not there, but okay, we'll be able to manage. But the bigger problem is that when you will have the many more microservices, right? So earlier you only calling the two microservices. Now you are, now if you have to call the many microservices, right? So for each call you have to hard code many IP address, port number, and to access these microservices, right? And now it would not be easy to maintain in the UI. Every time if anything change in the backend side, then again you have to come and change in the UI code, right? Because both are the very tight coupled, and you have to open the port or this IP address of the each microservice as open. So what is the problem here? First problem, many hard code URL in your UI code or the mobile code, right? No security means all these microservices is open, and the security threat is very much high here, right? And you cannot use the authentication authorization in very nice way because everything is open here. And if you change anything in the backend, if you suppose any change in the REST mapping API, then accordingly you have to update the UI code as well as, right? Very tight coupling, right? And the load balancing issue is also there. So suppose if you want to make the two instance of any microservices, one or two, then you have to take care for that, right? And again the rerouting issue. So suppose today you want to route one IP address for the one REST API to the different REST API, you cannot do that because this is the hard coupling kind of things here. So now thing is that what is the solution? And the solution is the API gateway. So how it is going to solve? If you see the previous screen, how many calls you are doing from the UI? For the each microservices is the each call, not even the each one. Means if one microservices, if you have the 10 REST API, so 10 call for the one microservices. So you think if you have the 10 microservices and the 10 REST API for the each microservices, hundreds calls they have to happening from the UI, and those much of the hard code you have to do that. Now once you get the API, you have to make just one call. You be always calling the API gateway without knowing where these microservices are residing. And you can make all these microservices in kind of the private subnet or the private network. So you can save from any security threat because this is under the one private network, and only API gateway can able to access those things. Because earlier if you see, there could be the many UI, they were calling to microservices, but in this case only API gateway would be calling the microservices. So you can keep in the safe place in the private network kind of things to avoid any kind of the security. This is the one benefit. And from the UI side, no need to do any hard code for the so many microservices. This UI has to just hit to the API gateway for any request for any microservices. That I will show you how you can do that. So what is the benefit you are achieving here with this API gateway? You can make the security, means in the API gateway you can check from which IP address call is coming, and you can make the backwist to IP address, whitelisting IP address, those things you can do that. You can do the authentication, means this request has the authentication to access any microservices or not. Even though have the authentication, are they authorized to hit the particular REST API or not? And if you want to do any routing for the API, that you can do that through the API gateway. That's why API gateway is very much important here, right? And in this demo session, what I am going to do it, I will do it. I will make one microservices, that is name of the server first, other microservices on the different port, server second, and I will make one application for the API gateway with the help of the ZUUL, and I will show you to connect from any browser. From this browser, no need to hit this IP address. You can just hit the IP address of the ZUUL. They will redirect your request to the respective demo. So let us start. So first make the two boot applications, small application. Go here and give any group ID. So suppose I am giving the Binod.Suman, and I will make the server first. So give the name the server first. Right. I need only the wave. So choose the Spring wave. That's it. And Java 8 as per your Java version. And here you can see we have the generate button. You generate it. The moment it will generate it, it will download the server first. Right. Now go to the Eclipse and import that project. Click here import. That is the Maven project. So I will do the Maven. Right. Do the next. Give the path of your boot applications. So download. So go to the download, and it is server first, and finish it. Right. So make this server first running on. Make some controller. Just show the identification. This is the server first. So make one class and give also the package name is a controller, and say this is the server first. Controller. Okay. And as you know that we have to add the REST controller, right? Annotation. Okay, make some method. So we should know this is the server first. So what I will do, I will make 3 small methods just for the identification purpose. But in your actual case, your business logic could be there, right? So here I just make the 3 methods. One says home, user, or admin, right? Just anything you can do here, right? And go to the resource here, and you have to make it means you have to say which port number you want to run. So I will say run on 8081, and it is important that you have to give the application name, so by which your gateway API will understand. So you give just some name. So I gave the server first. That's it, and it should work now. So if you want to test, you can first go and test it. It should work on 8081, right? Save it. Now go any browser and do the localhost 8081, and you give anything. Home is working, right? I have the user, So as per the REST API, you can do anything, right? And the first we have to make for the server second also, right? So make the server second, everything would be the same. Just generate it and come to the here, do the same thing, import here, Maven project, go to the browser, download, server discovery and server second, finish it. Go to the server second, same way we will create one controller, right? So create the class, give the package name, and here also put the method name, right? So this method name to make just a difference that this is the server 1 and this is the server 2, right? So but first and foremost what we have to do, we have to add the REST controller because you are exposing the REST. And here also the make the same name or any different name if you want, you can give it, right? I have given the server second to understand. You can give anything here, means no need to just copy paste, as per your requirement you can give it, right? And again as I said that you have to go the application properties here for the second also, and in the application properties give the port number 8082 and the server second. So just first come here and run it. Just I want to check this should also up and running, and go to the here and open the new tab, go to the 82 and check server second is coming, right? So user, all the things is working, right? Okay, now we have to make, I made this one, now I'm going to make this one, right? So for that what you have to do, you have to again go and make one, yeah. So again here come initializer, same I want to add the wave, and this name you can give the sorry, ZUUL API gateway, right? And everything will be the same. Click on the generate, go to the Eclipse and import as we have done already for the two microservices. Import Maven project, go to the download here, this is the angle, and here you go to the pom.xml. I want to little bit change here. I want to this version that support without any problem for the API gateway. So I am going to make this change. I want this version 2.3.7, and also I have to add the ZUUL here, right? So so once you add the ZUUL, so after that you have to add the dependency management. That anyhow I will share the code, I will share the link. So you have to add this the dependency management also, right? And you have to add one more properties here. So you have to make total 4 changes. One, I change this the version number, I change version number, I add the Spring Cloud version here, 2 changes, I add this ZUUL dependency, 3 changes, and I add dependency management. This is the 4 changes. These 4 changes you have to do it, right? And then after that you go the ZUUL applications here, and you have to add the proxy enabled. You have to do the enable ZUUL proxy, right? That is, you have to, if you see here, that you have to enable it, right? So once you do it here, then what you have to do, the main important thing is that you have to make some filters. So what the filters does, let me explain you. Take any one filter that should work. So make one package for filter. The benefit of filter is that you make the pre-filter. So let me explain you what is the filter here. So if any request will hit, so before that, if you want to do some intercept kind of things, you can do before hitting the your actual microservice. So this is the pre filter. So we have the pre filter, we have the post filter, we have the router filter. So let me just make one pre filter, and then I will show you how you can implement the other filter also. So in pre filter, what you have to do, first and foremost, you have to make the component. So uh, it should be work as per the Spring framework, and then you have to extend ZUUL filter, and you have to add unimplemented here. So for the, if you see, we are getting the things right, that that should filter or not. So for time being, we can make this true. And for the run, what you have to do, okay, just forget about run for time being. For the filter type, you just give the message, this is my filter, any keyword you can use, and the filter order you can make one here. And here what you have to do, if you want to see the log message, that log message is coming or not. So for you, you come here. We are not taking the advantage right now because my focus is that to show the how the API work. So you take the request context, and once you get the request, then you can do anything, right? So if you see the sys out, if you do sys out, and sys out, if you make the complete detail, so you will understand that what are the things you can going to get it here. So I did the message pre-request filter, it is the get or post, and which URL they are doing that. So it will give the little bit hints how the filter work. Okay, once you have done that, then you come to the application properties, and this is the most important thing we are going to talk here. So what the important thing is that, so first of all, you gave the name of your server. So if you see here, I have this name, the server first. This server first I gave in the server first application property, right? If you see here, this server first. Just copy it to avoid anything and put here the server first, right? And this server first is running, I know, on 8081, right? So you have to inform the API whether this is working, what is the location for this actual the microservice. And for the second, if you go the second also, we have the, where it is there, it is here, and we have given the name server second, right? To copy paste to avoid any mistake here, and give the server second, and it is running on the 8082, right? And I'm not giving the server port for the API, so it ZUUL gateway, it will work on the 8080, right? Now you do one thing, just for change, I will want to show something here. So you give the path, and path you give something paste, so just for your purpose, just showing thing. And this one I will explain you what I have given, why I have given here, right? Now everything is done. Now go and run the ZUUL API gateway. So come here and it should work on the 8080, right? Okay, it is working on the 8080. But what you have to do now, if you give now 8080, means just I'm explaining here, it is not the code here. So this is working on localhost 8080, your gateway, right? Now slash give the server first. If you give the server first, this is equivalent to this one. Now if you want to call the home here, so you have to also give the home here, right? If this part is equal for this part, the benefit is of that tomorrow if the microservices port has been changed, then you no need to change in the UI code, right? Because from the UI you will be just hitting this part, you don't know where this the microservice first is running. So let us test it, then you will understand. So make it short here like this. 8081 is, if you do the user, it is working, we are directly hitting, but I want to hit through the API. So API is working on the 8080, so do the 8080 this here. Now give the server first, so I will give server first, and then whatever you want to call from this API, because till here you assume this is the same as it is equal this API. Now if I will give the home, it will be coming from the server first. But see, my server first is running on the 8081, but you are calling it directing through the API gateway, right? Now here everything works. If you give the user, it will work, right? If you give the admin, it will work, right? The same way for the second, what I change here, if you see here, for the second, if you do server second, if you give home, it is not working, right? So what you have to do, you have to, instead of the server second, you have to use this test and then home. So in this case, if you follow the path and URL, for this case, localhost 8080 and test equal to this one. So in this way, you no need to give even the application name also. You have to just give the path name, and whatever you want to do, you do it, right? So this is the complete demo from end to end. I explain you. Please make sure to subscribe my channel so you will get the notifications for all the new incoming videos. Thank you very much.